Ah, la la la, la la la, la 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 la, bam! Hello, hello, my honeybees. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Let me push this up just a little because you have to see. How are yous? Are you doing okay? I'm so happy to hear that. Yes, I'm okay. Let's get started. What do we have here? All right. I have mac and cheese. Mac and cheese I made a little different. I had some leftover sweet potatoes that I had steamed. And I said, you know what? Let me try to make mac and cheese out of the sweet potatoes. And I haven't tasted it yet. I'm hoping for good results, but who knows? Peas. And this is a meatball. It's a meatball. It's the Gardein meatball. Yeah. I didn't feel like spaghetti, but I felt like a meatball. So there you have it. Well, I just dropped the kids off. Bella and vegan baby Nino. Yes. And that was a blast. It was a lot of fun, but let me tell you. Having the baby is not so hard. We kind of got that down pat, you know. But then when I have Bella too, all poop hits the fan, if you know what I mean, okay? You know, they're at Honey's house, so they pretty much go for it. Go ahead, you take the first taste. I want you to taste that mac and cheese and tell me what it tastes like. You know what peas taste like. You know what meatballs taste like. Try that. I will let you know if I like it. I put some kelp on it. You know, seaweed. Sprinkled a little bit of that on here. Let's see. Let me try it with nothing. Okay. It's really not bad at all. I think I would have put a little bit more lemon or lime juice. Other than that, they're really not bad, but I think I don't like to talk with my mouth full. You understand, I'm sure. But I'll tell you something. This is the first time I've had a meatball with no sauce or anything. And they are pretty excellent. They have a super taste. Very tasty. Little bit spicy, like not hot spicy, but like a little bit of sage in there, and yeah. But anyway, if I had leftover sweet potato like I did today, yeah, I would use it again. But to make my mac and cheese out of sweet potato instead of like the Yukon Gold and stuff, I wouldn't. No. I'll tell you why. You know how when you're mashing the potatoes or you're whipping the potatoes, they become very very what's the word I want to use? I can't think of the word I want to use. I don't want to get it confused like I'm talking about a dough, but it's like the gluten from the potatoes seem to come out much more when you're really whipping them. If you're just mashing or smashing them, there's a big difference, and that is exactly what makes the mac and cheese seem like mac and cheese. The consistency of like the Yukon Gold or the regular white potato. But when you use a sweet potato, you don't seem to get that. So that's the only reason. But taste-wise, excellent. It's really good. Yeah. So I was saying, my kids gave me a run for my money last night. Baby vegan Nino was exhausted yesterday, and he didn't wind up getting a nap. So you know how that goes. He was overly tired. But sweet, he had no problem. He was still a good little boy. But then what happened? He fell asleep. I put him to bed. He fell asleep at about 10 o'clock. And if Bella's around, he wants to play. He don't want to know nothing. So I got him to sleep at about 10, and I usually try to get my aunt in bed by, she's a late person. She goes to bed late, so at least by 12. Anyway, she comes down the hall yelling, "I'm ready!" Okay, I know you're ready. Please don't yell. And don't you know, as soon as she yelled, baby's eyes opened as wide as could be. So, I'm gonna guess maybe 2:30 or so. The two of them finally fell asleep, Bella and the baby. And there was giggling, and I don't mean giggling, hysterically laughing. And it was Nino. 2 o'clock in the morning. Trying to get Bella's attention, and so it was very, very late by the time we actually did fall asleep. And then I'm always back up by 6. Because my aunt really can't get up on her own. And she wakes up early. So I always like to make sure that I am up. And I try to have a cup of coffee first before I go in to get her up and get her dressed and washed and all that, because she can't do any of that for herself. So, you know, you do what you gotta do, right? So anyway, last night was quite the night. But they had fun. So they'll go home and sleep very well for my daughter tonight. That's for sure. And we're supposed to get snow tonight. One to 3 inches. Baby hears snow and he starts dancing. He loves snow. What does a baby know at 20 months old what snow is? He got to go out in it once in his life. But he thinks it's the best thing ever. So, that's a good thing, I guess. That's how my night went. We'll get through it. But you know, if they didn't come over, I'd be lost. I have with all my children, I have a bond. But with vegan baby Nino, because my daughter was very, very ill right after she had him, she wasn't able to come home from the hospital. She had to have a few surgeries afterwards. And I was there when he was born. I was the coach. Even though she had cesarean. But I also picked him up from the hospital and brought him home. And I actually had both the girls too, both her daughters, because there was no way she would be able to care for them and take them to school. And then school was letting out and it went into summer, and it was so. I wound up getting a crazy bond with that baby, which you can imagine. So, even though my daughter got better, thank God, and was able to take him home, I still get him. She keeps him 2 days, and I get him 1 day. So, and I really believe that the baby looks forward to coming over here as much as I look forward to getting him. And I'm sure we'll always have that bond. So she actually had to miss the first 6 months of his life, and it was very difficult for her. She tried to breastfeed, and we would get milk, you know, pump milk, and she would send it here and stuff, but she just wasn't able to because of her illness. But he was also probably the best baby that we've ever had. He never said a word. I could go to school meetings for the kids. I could take them to their sports. I could take care of my aunt. I could do anything that needed to be done. And it was no problem. Go to the grocery stores. Just amazing. So that is the reason for a very, very close bond. I went from no kids. Well, I can't say that. I have the 17-year-old, but no little ones. To having 3, and I could finish that again, but why? I'm full. I'd like to finish it, to tell you the truth, but I know I don't need all that food, so I'm not going to. But anyway, I went from having, you know, no little children at all to having a newborn baby, my aunt, my 17-year-old, which he was 15 then, and Bella, who was 9, was just turning 7, and Mia was 11. So, you know what? But I got so used to it. It just, packing lunches for them, and every day I would pick them up from school. At first I'd take them to school, and then, I picked them up, and every single day I made sure we'd go to the park. Even if it was cold, and I had the newborn baby too, remember. I would just bundle him up as much as I could, put him in the stroller, or put him in, I don't even know what they're called, the things that you carry them, up close to you. And, I'm no fool. I made sure I got those kids outside to play, to burn energy. Because if I didn't get them outside to burn energy, they were going to burn the energy when they got here. You know what I mean? So I said, oh, no, let's go to the park. And, it was fun. You get used to it. You do what you got to do. And then I put them in camp in the summertime, and they wound up loving camp. And they went, every day. I think they were off Sunday. But then again, I said, you guys, you're not going to sit in all summer. What are you going to do sitting in all summer? I can't go to the beach. I couldn't do anything like that because of the baby, of course. He was still just an infant. And they wound up loving camp. So, yeah, that's just a little tidbit for you of how I became so very, very close to vegan baby Nino. And my girls, of course, I was always close to them too. We learn to do what we have to do in life sometimes, right? You get hit with big surprises, and you don't know how you're going to do it. I am not kidding, because I didn't know I was getting that baby. I was not prepared, not even a little bit. My daughter was prepared. I didn't even know how to put the car seat in the car anymore, because car seats change. And I picked this baby up from the hospital, and I am so frustrated. I'm like, oh my God, how do I get him buttoned in? I don't even know how. So that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that sometime. But this is Vegan Mama Me. Thank you for visiting me, and I love that you allowed me to visit you. And thanks for eating with me. Love for it if you'd let me know down below what you guys had for supper. And, even if you didn't eat with me, let me know what you're having for supper. Communicate, guys. Let me know you're here. I do have a lot of regulars that are always there for me. But come on, guys. Don't forget, we're having a giveaway. So go home, my honeybees. Go home. Fly away.